and welcome to part 99 of my report on the McCarrick Report by Patrick Parson. Continuing chapter 25, titled Knowledge of Prior Allegations and McCarrick's Activity During the Papacy of Francis, Spring 2013 to Spring 2017, we are in part B, which is Holy See Decision-Making and McCarrick's Activity during the Papacy of Francis, Spring 2013 to early 2017. We have seen how, even at the age of 83, Cardinal McCarrick remained active in international affairs, and in May 2014, Nuncio Viganò wrote some concerns to Cardinal Parolin, saying that McCarrick's trips were generating news articles in publications such as the Washington Post. Viganò pointed out that the Congregation for Bishops had repeatedly instructed McCarrick to refrain from making trips, and that McCarrick was not to make public appearances. So the nuncio gave this request for clarification. Quote, "The reasons for this provision are certainly available from the Secretariat of State and the Congregation for Bishops. They could possibly no longer be in effect, in which case I would like to be comforted by new instructions in this regard." Unquote. Viganò's letter went to Cardinal Parolin, but was not copied to Cardinal Ouellet, the prefect for the Congregation for Bishops. This may not sound like a serious omission, but the report makes a point of stating that Viganò also did not mention his prior McCarrick correspondence with Cardinal Ouellet in 2012-2013, did not mention any prior meeting with Pope Francis regarding McCarrick, did not describe the course of conduct reflected in the nunciature files regarding McCarrick's travel and activities since 2008, and had not taken further steps to ascertain the truth of Priest 3's allegation against McCarrick, which had been the first signed statement by an individual claiming to have been the victim of sexual misconduct by McCarrick. Cardinal Ouellet, after a July 14th short conversation with Secretary of State Cardinal Parolin, sent a letter to Parolin the same day with a reminder of the indications placed on McCarrick back in 2008. Quote, "In light of the accusations of immoral behavior raised regarding the Cardinal in 2008, his continuing imprudence, and the risk of a new campaign of accusations against him, this congregation has tried to convince him, for the good of the Church, to accept the following indications. A. That he not reside at the Redemptoris Mater Seminary in Washington. It would seem more appropriate that the Cardinal not live alone, but in a religious house with other people, chaplain in a home for the elderly, etc. B. That he lead a more private life, and accordingly not accept invitations either within the United States or abroad, excepting certain cases according to the judgment of the Holy See." Unquote. According to the report, this appears to have led to some disagreement within the Secretariat of State, as to whether McCarrick should be permitted to pursue his initiative in China. Archbishop Mamberte, secretary of the section for relations with states, was, quote, personally completely against favoring any initiative of Cardinal McCarrick, unquote, in China. But Cardinal Parolin adhered to the diplomatic precept that it is best to promote dialogue and never close a door. On that basis, Parolin permitted McCarrick's own China initiatives, which were without mandate from the Holy See. And as a footnote on page 425 points out, the indications had always allowed McCarrick to undertake activities with the Holy See's permission, and neither Pope Francis nor Cardinal Parolin had ever instructed the prefect of the Congregation for Bishops to lift or modify any indications related to McCarrick. So it is not really clear to me just what the point of the notifications was. I hope, however, we have some understanding of the point of our lives, which is to know, love, and serve God. One way we have of showing our love for Him is by demonstrating our love for all the lives He has created, born and unborn. Please join me in saying the Fatima Prayer. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, and lead all souls to heaven, especially those in most need of thy mercy.